Hello everyone, Drew Wilson of Your Era Gamer here. Today we are traveling to the year of 2015. This is when the Xbox One game Forza Motorsport 6 was released. This is, of course, the 6th main installment to this franchise. So, I've got 10 minutes on the clock. Let's give this game a try. And just as a quick note, I did play through Forza Motorsport 5. And my response to that game is, what the heck? Turn 10. Like, nothing about that made sense. What they did. And, like at first it didn't seem like that bad of a game. Like, you could tell by the first impression video, like, I was at least having fun. But it's one of those games where the longer you play, the worse it gets. The balance, everything about it just got worse and worse. Whole tracks got cut. And what tracks are there? Like, the game insisted on replaying the same configuration over and over and over again. So, and this is rewind, just in case you're wondering. Kept popping up. There we go. So, I'm really hoping 6 is better than 5. Seriously, like, that was just... I never thought I would find myself really disliking a Forza Motorsport game because I thought, hey, I'd never go wrong with that. So these are the different camera angles of this game. There we go. I'll just go to chase cam because I'm not some super uber pro driver. I'm just playing casually these games and having a great time. So yeah, so much like other games in the franchise, it starts with an introductory race, and this one appears to be on some beach style racetrack, or at least near the coast, at least. So I'm noticing a lack of, like, pretty much anything really. Like, there's no placement or anything, so maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just an exclusive thing for the introductory race. So yeah, I'm noticing right away that all the assists are on, including assisted brake. So even if I'm just using the actual brakes, and I'm trying to use manual braking in normal spots just so that I can kind of start getting used to the flow of the game itself. But that'll definitely be turned off. And in these games, and it looks like it's very likely this is going to be the same thing on this game as well, there's going to be, like, different assists and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of curious how that goes. And we got our first achievement. Welcome to Forza Motorsport. Cool. And there's damage physics as well.
Your career spans 5 different volumes, each built around a different type of car passion. From hot hatchbacks and vintage...
This is a very similar system with 5 as well as previous games where you have different kinds of cars. Like hot hatch and stuff like that, like that was mentioned by the introductory voice there. And yeah, you kind of get a specific class of vehicle, and it's all kind of selected for you, or at least it helps. And obviously different vehicles race differently. Super Street. Evenly matched. So those are the different ones. As much as I liked playing the Impreza, trying to think. I'm gonna go with, I don't know. We'll go with Toyota, sure. I mean, it's all gonna race the same.
Let's customize it to really make it yours.
And different colors you can select. That actually wasn't present in the previous games. You just picked one and go. You could customize it later if you really wanted to. Just to be different,
Are you ready to start your
I'll just
racing
stick with
this time?
orange. Sure. I don't know if this game will showcase the different assists and stuff like that right off the bat, or if it's just going to get me to another
Every
intro.
race has an objective. For this qualifying race, you must finish in third place or better in order
Third
to
place or better.
advance.
Okay.
Select Start race to begin.
Sounds about standard. So, assists.
Modify any of the assist settings to
There we
tailor
go.
your driving experience to be just
So,
what you like.
these games generally have like a different assist, and you can toggle different features to be harder for the game. And like the intro says, you can get increase the payouts as you go along. And there's like defaults settings on the top there. So I'm just gonna go to braking, ABS, steering assisted. Huh. I didn't know there was an assisted. I think that's new. I'll leave the suggested line on for now because, I mean, if you're a new player, it makes sense that I can just show you what that looks like. Damage, shifting, you can go automatic, rewind on, off, that sort of thing. And in the harder the difficulty is, the better you can get So I'll accept that. Drivatar difficulty.
Allows you to select just the right Drivatar difficulty skill to provide you exactly the level of challenge you like. Increasing the difficulty will also increase your credits rewards. Decreasing the difficulty reduces this bonus, but it will be easier to win.
All punches are raced to the truest form, including aggressive attacks like blocking or side swiping. I'm surprised you don't get any bonuses for that, honestly. That's interesting. Anyway, average seems good to me. I'm an average driver. Alright, so at least you got an idea of what that is, at least.
Technology. Each driver is as unique and competitive as the players who trained them.
So the AI has returned. That was a thing in the previous game. You basically have a Drivatar that resembles, like this is what they say it is. It resembles your driving styles and stuff like that. So if you tend to take outer lines or inner lines or whatever, then okay, that was on me. I was distracted trying to explain something. Wow, the steering is horrendous on this car. Okay, sure. Let's get back on track here. What was I saying now? I lost my train of thought. For you have a Drivatar that is aligned with your skills, and honestly, it's a bit hit and miss because sometimes you try and pass someone on a straightaway or whatever. Well, sometimes when the game syncs to your ability, at least as far as 5 is concerned, then it thinks, oh, you drive on the outer side on that, when really you had a reason to. And you could kind of tell a little bit with some of the driving habits of your opponents. And it's really obvious what they were really doing at the time, but then the AI takes over and says, oh, this is what you do, so therefore I'm going to do the same thing. So it's a little hit and miss. It doesn't really take into account like why you drove the way you did. Was there an opponent there? Was there not an opponent there? It doesn't really get into that. But yeah, that's my experience with that. Anyway, you get to have your Drivatar racing in other races, at least as far as 5 is concerned, and then they race for you. And then you earn credits as if you kind of have like a assistant driving, racing in other people's races. Unfortunately, with 5, all that was disabled because, well, there's no online support anymore, so therefore it doesn't work anymore, and therefore you don't get the credits either, which I think is kind of a shame. M. Rossi, that's a name that pops up from previous games. I don't know why I immediately recognized that name, but there it is. I'm guessing those pictures are Drivatar badges that you can earn throughout the game. You earn badges, and that helps represent you, I guess. Just a little thing here and there that comes up. Nothing game changing, and you get scores based on how well you do. Good passes, good turns, that sort of thing. Before the video ends, I just wanted to note that in the previous game, a perfect pass is practically a near miss, which is kind of counterintuitive as you're driving less safe intentionally for the rewards. So I don't know if that's the same thing in this game, but that's what I kind of learned after looking things up. So yeah, that is a interesting first look at the game. And with respect to this screen, you can tell that all the Drivatars are basically tuned to what your performance is. So that's a carryover from the previous game. That's always happened. Yeah. Anyway, interesting so far. I'm definitely noticing some interesting changes to the gameplay. Just mostly superficial, but there was both those tracks were certainly not present in the previous game that I could tell. So I think that's gonna be interesting. Hopefully there's gonna be more tracks associated with this game, because that got really repetitive after a while in the previous game. Other than that, like, it has a lot of very familiar elements to the gameplay overall. The difficulties, adjusting Drivatar difficulties, getting higher rewards for increasing the difficulty on yourself, and the mentions of AI, which seems to be something that's brought back from the previous games, so that's nothing new to me. So there's a lot of things that are definitely familiar to me. But yeah, so far so good. I'll see how the rest of the game goes from here on out. So very curious to see how this game plays out. Hopefully better than the previous game, at least. But anyway, I wanted to hear from you. What did you think of this game when you played it? Was this a really good game? Did it really turn this franchise around for you? Or were you less than thrilled with it? Have you been burnt out on sim racing games at this point in time? Yeah, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this. Also, for those who haven't played this particular game necessarily, but have played previous games or other games in the franchise, what'd you think of what you saw in this video? Does this look like a pretty interesting game to you that maybe you want to personally get into this game? Or is this like maybe you're more comfortable with the other games that you've been playing and there's only so many Forza games you can play, which would be an understandable reaction to me? Yeah, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this. Also, for those who have never played any of the Forza games, what'd you think of when you saw this, the footage of this game? Does this look like a game that you might get into, or is sim racing not your style, and even with all the fancy assists and stuff like that, it's just not for you? Let me know what your thoughts are on the comments below on that one. So I guess that is all for now, and until next time, what is your era?